Hey, it's good to have you here for another session of Seb's Art Gym. In today's one, we're going back because last episode didn't go too well. We had a software crash at the end and unfortunately we lost pretty much all of the work. So, in that case, I'm doing it again. And what are we doing again? The neck. And to be specific, the spinal structure and everything. So all the skeleton behind the neck. I believe it's called the cervical spine. That's what the technical name for it. But we're going to be going over it again using similar references, hopefully trying a different angle just to really hone it in. Now you're welcome to join along as always. I'm happy that you're here with us and massive thank you for checking this video out and being here. It's massive. I'm very grateful for you being here. So in return, let's get some work done together. You grab a piece of paper, you grab a pencil, and let's become better artists step by step. And by step, I mean going through all the fundamentals. So I'm not going to talk about it too much more. As usual, the reference is in the description below. You can find it there. It's a Pinterest link that you can just click on and it'll have the board full of everything that I'm using for all of these episodes. And I'll see you at the desk. So check it out. This is all we're going to be using today. We've got our YouTube sketchbook, which is slowly being filled out with stuff. Unfortunately, they all keep falling out, as you can see. So all the drawings I've done have been ripped out by ghosts, I guess. Every time I open this book, these things fly out. So it'll be easier to scan them at the end. And all of our tools, we've got a 2H pencil. I think it's a 2H. It might be a HB. It is a HB. So an HB pencil, which because of this whole thing is being destroyed inside. Just gotta clear that up. An eraser. And my phone here, my second phone for references and recording. All that stuff. That was the notes for this video. Where's my Pinterest? Pinterest right here. This is the link in the description. You can go check it out straight away if you want any of these references, and let's go pick one out. I'm gonna make the brightness a little bit higher. And which one should we go with today? It would be nice to try a different angle, but this one, let's do a side angle of this whole thing. Let's see if that is the best one I can use here. I think this one's better. Yeah, we'll use this. Can I get a full screen of this? I forget how Pinterest works sometimes, so I'll download the image and we'll get a full view of it. Let me just grab that real quick. Dope. So we got the full view of the image here for us to use, and let's get straight to it. If any of you have seen my previous videos, actually I don't even know if I've mentioned it, but I am trying to go for a bit of a cleaner style with my art. So I'm trying to make more decisive strokes of my pencil, if that makes sense. I don't want to be overlaying too many lines on top of each other. I just want to be much cleaner, trying to step away from guidelines a little bit, but not too much because I know the great importance of them. So I don't want to be skipping too many of these lines. Also, I forgot to change my screen time so it won't keep going off. Give me a second, I'm just going to change that. So I've set the lock to never, so rest in peace to the battery, but that's not what we want this phone for. I want this for work. So let's start putting in these strokes. Gonna try and outline the most important things and then kind of go over them again. Again, I don't want to use too many outlines, but what I want to do is I want to sort of guide myself as to where I want to go before I make a full stroke of my pencil. This is something I use often with pens because pens are permanent. I try to do a very delicate line so that I can kind of come back in and go over it. I'm actually still going to use some basic shapes just to block things in. I love the importance of using shapes in these things. It just helps you so much more when you're drawing these things to just know beforehand where you're going to put the next line. So just a little bit, I'm going to do a couple of these just so I have point of reference, just for myself mainly. But yeah, cool. That's going to help me out a lot during the whole drawing. And all it took was a couple of seconds, right? And we can always rub this out. I mean, it's not the end of the world that I have to put in a couple guidelines. But yeah. So if you guys watched the previous episode, you'll know it didn't work out too well. I think the drawing was great and I was very happy with it, but unfortunately I lost it because the software decided to break. And thing is, I do not know if I updated it before the video or not, because a new version of it came out. So I was wondering whether that was my fault, because, you know, you should never really upgrade software right before you're about to do something. It's never a good idea, because it could just turn out to be terrible and it could just end up bugging out. It's the same thing with like updates for the iPhones. Just wait for the full release of software. Forget about the beta. I'm lucky enough to not have had my phone brick up, because I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the right word to use. Yeah, I've never had it like break because of an update, but I've heard many stories where people have installed the beta update and it just destroys their phone, with the battery, or it just doesn't work properly afterwards. So never do these things, especially when you're about to record a video. That was definitely not a smart move from me. So it could be my fault that happened. So I'll know not to do that again. But yeah, we're still back here and we're back to traditional media. It's always the best. This isn't going to crash on me. The only way that I can lose this drawing is if I, throw it away, someone else throws it away, or suddenly a fire breaks out somewhere. That's the only way I can lose this stuff. And what's amazing is we've still got like Da Vinci's sketchbooks. We've got drawings from his sketchbooks, and they were done on paper. So look at that. He didn't use no computers. They didn't have them. So maybe it's not too bad to come back to the traditional medium, is it? I don't know. You tell me. Are you more of a fan of traditional mediums, or are you more of a fan of the digital stuff? I'm a fan of both, personally, and I'm beginning to draw a couple things digitally here and there. Although, I've got to be honest, I've been slacking this year. Unfortunately, it's been a slow start to 2024. I don't know if it's been like that for everyone else, but for me, it's been a bit slow. And I can't really excuse it. Like, I don't have an excuse for it. It's just me being lazy. It's just all the things that I've been working towards, like self-improvement wise and everything, have kind of taken a fall, let's say. I've even stopped going to the gym as much and stopped running as much. And those things I count as crucial towards like growing as an artist or anything. I think it's crucial to move, to get out of the house, to exercise, treat your body well. I think they're absolutely crucial, and I've always neglected it, and my whole life really. So I started getting up and started actually putting in some effort towards it, and the new year came and I was like, oh, new year, new me, but it's not in the right way. But it's all right. You know, I'm being in this whole self-improvement thing and like looking on how to better myself. I do read these books, and even Marcus Aurelius talks about the fact that these principles, they will never go away. They're always here and we can always come back to them. And, you know, everyone falls into problems and everyone falls into struggles in life, and they can't always be expected to be perfect all the time and be expected to be growing all the time. And it's, I think, falling behind and getting off of your grind and falling behind on your grind, that's whatever the word I was looking for, is part of the process, really. It's like, I think if you don't fail, then you're not going to move forward. And getting back into the rhythm of things is really difficult. but it's also inevitable. If you care about something like that, I think it's inevitable. I think you're bound to come back to it. And it's just a little matter of time and a matter of you getting your shit together, really. I think that's the secret of it. I don't know. You tell me. I'm wondering if you guys have ever been on like a journey like that. Have you ever thought about self-improvement? Have you ever thought about becoming better at something like that? I'm personally a fan of linking it into my art, because I know art for me is something very important, and I'm using things I'm learning from like philosophy books and everything to become a better artist and become a better person as well, become a better man. And I think improving my craft, really doing something that I want to dedicate my life to, it's a special thing. So I want to keep it growing. And I hope you do the same. I hope that you're choosing to be here with us to practice this. This is something that I'm doing right now, kind of as a thing for myself, really, for the younger me. I wish I had a channel like this to go to. Well, what I'm trying to do with this channel is create a channel to be like that, like one that I would have gone to as a kid to try and do something better in the world and do something with what I was given, this drive for art. I'm happy that this is what I have come to love over the years, and I think it's a gift that I was given. I'm not going to say the ability to draw is a gift, because I think talent isn't really a thing. I think it's just sheer practice. But I think the fact that I was given the drive and the want to do this, I'm very grateful for that, and I want to do something with it. Also, I realized I made the eye a little bit bigger here, and we've not talked about this drawing at all in this video. But that's alright, sometimes we've got to... I use this as a way to vent, but also talk about something important to me. And I think drawing and talking is a perfect time to do that. But yeah, so I'm thinking of this as a channel for me when I was younger, and I'm hoping that this resonates with some people here as well. Maybe you get something out of it. I'm doing a little bit of shading here, which is not actually something I do often. I figured that if we're going to do a different angle... Oh, lovely. I figured if we're going to do a different angle, it might be fun to put some love into it. Take my time with it. Usually I'm quite in a rush with these, but not today. Slowing down a little bit. It's a good day. We've had a good day. We went to a new stable today, which was awesome, because my girlfriend does horse riding and we found a new stable to go to. That was really nice. Finally, a good place for her to develop her hobby further, to develop what she loves further, just like we're doing here with this art. Everyone has their thing to go to. So it's been a good day. Maybe that's why the energy going into this drawing is much better. And why I'm enjoying it more. And also we're drawing skulls again, so I realize that this is going to be the third video in a row of me just drawing skulls, so I apologize for that. But like I said at the beginning of this video, it's important that you just keep coming back to this stuff. Just keep coming back, because you can never have too much practice. You can never be good enough. Well, that sounds pretty dark. That's not the way I was meant to say it. What's a better way of saying that? I just think what I mean by that is that you're never too good to practice more. That's the one. There we go. It finally came to my head. You're never too good to go and practice a little more and to be even better. I think it's an important thing to remember. because that way we can spend our lives constantly being students and constantly wanting to improve. And I think that's a pretty cool way to spend your life. It's just constantly learning something and doing it with our own will, not being forced to by some education system or something else. We're doing it because we want to, and there's something beautiful in that. Awesome. Let's all right. Let's leave the skull, Seb. That's enough with the skull. Let's go back to the cervical spine. I'm going to try my best to be accurate, but if you guys watched the previous video, or if you watched the previous video, you will know that I was talking about just getting the gist of these things, getting these shapes into our mind, because these are very organic shapes and they're very weird. They're not something you'd see made by a machine. It's no like perfect edges and lines. These are very flowing, natural, energetic shapes. There's nothing like perfect about them, which kind of makes them perfect in their own way, but I think it's a much harder shape for us to understand, even though it's natural. So it's good to practice these things because we can use this in a lot of our art later on. And I'm not just talking about drawing a spine or like drawing a skull. I'm talking about when you try and put this into anything, really. When you try and learn or try and draw some organic creature or like alien in your character design journey, you might want to explore something like this. This will be perfect practice for creature design or anything of that sort of, what's the word, caliber. I've got my tea here. Chamomile. I can feel my throat going slightly dry, so it's best I prevent any voice cracks. God knows I do that a lot, so right. So yeah, learning these organic shapes is gonna do you good. So don't wonder why we're doing this, because there's always a reason for everything. There's plenty of times where I'll sit and think, God, why am I practicing how to draw the skeleton? Like, what is that gonna do me good? If I learn how to draw the outside of a face, that's all I need, right? Well, yeah, it might be all you need, but hell, if you know all this, you're going to have a much easier time putting in facial features, like knowing this skull. If I look at it and I want to draw a face, I know that this is where the eyebrows are going to be because there's an indent on the skull. And then the nose goes from here onwards, and we've got the nose building. Look at that. And then, well, the lips are here because that's where the teeth are. And I know that that's the upper jaw, so the lips will start coming in here. The outer lips will go here. And what is that? That's the chin. So, like, I've got this full structure here for me. And I know where the cheekbone is now because that's where it is on the skull. And look, this is where the ear goes. And I know now that after the cheekbone, near the edge of the jaw, there's where the ear goes. And like all this knowledge, although it may seem weird and although it may seem tedious and not worth your time, I think you're going to thank yourself a lot when it comes to drawing anything else. Actually, really cool message that I got from a completely different video. It was a video by Helios Smith. He's an awesome YouTube editor. You probably heard of him or something. I'm sure, because he did have a phase where he was kind of popping off on YouTube. I think he still is. He's a really, really good editor. He works for like Mr. Beast and Logan Paul. And regardless whether you like Logan Paul or not, we can agree that his videos are made well. And that was very much thanks to Helios Smith. He was his editor, and he was he still does it. He is a very good YouTube editor. And he was talking about the big mistake that people make when making videos, and that was that they do not treat it as art. They just treat it as a video, and what it means by that is they treat it as the formula. So with drawing, there's a formula. You know, all this stuff that we're learning right now, that's the formula behind all of this art. Like all of the art that we draw. That's the formula. That's how we get it right. That's how we bake the right cake. So the fundamentals is the formula for our pieces, for our cake. But the art is what we tend to be missing when we're focused on this stuff here and like doing all that. But there is a reason why we're doing all this. The reason we're doing all this is so that when we are doing the art, it's much easier to focus on just that rather than focusing on doing all the formula stuff, like getting the right ingredients and getting the right everything, getting it all right. There's too much focus on that, and it doesn't allow us to be fully creative. And the reason we learn all this is so we can do the creative art side without having to think about all of this. And you have no idea, well, you do have an idea because you've been drawing for a while. You have an idea of the toll that this stuff takes on you when you have to keep thinking about it in your artwork. Oops, sorry about that. When you have to keep thinking about where these things go, it's a lot harder to just focus on the art. And that's why we're doing this. That's why we're getting tedious and why we're learning all these formulas, just so we can come in here and do it off by heart next time. And I think it was an awesome message that he put in his video, and I loved it. And I instantly had it resonate with what I do here and like the art that I create. So thank you for that message, Hillier Smith. You are an awesome guy. You make some awesome videos, and you are a fantastic editor. Hopefully I'm going to learn a little bit from you when making my own videos. But again, I don't want that to be the focus of my channel, because I'm here to focus on the art. But I'm going to still try and make the best video I can for you guys. So we've got the spine building up here, and we're pretty much done with this. I mean, there was some really strange organic shapes going on here, but with these, we don't have to focus too much on the detail. Just got to focus on getting the right message across. And that's kind of what I like to push more and more with these things that I do, is the fact that you just want to be able to get your message across. So you want to learn how to get this onto paper so that people understand it. And once you've done that, everything else will be a lot easier. We got some bones that are swerving around here. Kind of a complex shape and structure. These here, what's happening? These are like rings. These are the ribs. This is the collarbone. It's interesting to have a look at it from this side. And then look at what we have here. This here is the Adam's apple. I don't know the technical term for it, but this is what what makes that whole thing happen here in our body. So that's going to go here. And look at that. Now I know where the neck goes. And I know where the Adam's apple goes because I've looked at it. I know there's a bone here now. So now it becomes so much easier to place flesh on top of here and make a character that's a lot more understandable, and make a face that's a lot more understandable and a lot more clear for any viewer looking at this. We've got the underlaying structure done, and this came out pretty nicely actually. I'm happy with the way the lines came out. I've noticed with all these lessons that we do, my line quality does start getting a little bit better, and that's purely from practice. Really, it's purely from just doing this over and over again. So I hope that you guys are doing this as well, and hopefully this is coming out really well for you and you're happy with the results. But if you followed along, be sure to follow our Discord, which is in the description below, and you can show me these drawings if you've done any of them. It'll be really awesome to see how you guys are doing with this. There's an art share section in there that you can just throw your artwork in there, and I'm very happy to look at it. But that pretty much does it. Like, I mean, look at that. I think that looks great. What's the date today? So we can, 21st of Jan, 2024. Seb's Art Gym SAG for short 3. It's the third one? This is the third one. Cervical spine. We've got it. Here's my version of it. This is what you just saw me do. Now, if you aren't a member of the Discord, do be sure to join it just so you can share your artwork in there. It's a great community of people. We've got like 20 plus people on there. I'm very grateful for all of you joining in. So yeah, if you want to join it, just join it for the fact that you can throw in your drawings there, because I'll be very happy to see it. I want to see your progress as well. Hopefully you're joining in on these. That's the third one done. On the next one, we're going to be going even lower. So the rib cage. Hard one, yeah. That's a stressful one. I remember the first time I did it. It was tough, but you know, you and me, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna go over to the rib cage, find some fantastic references, and we'll tackle it and we'll get through it. The bigger the challenge, the more you're gonna learn. So remember that. Thank you so much for joining in and taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got something out of it. So yeah, if you haven't practiced during this video, be sure to practice any other time. And happy drawing, and just have a good day. Because it's been a good day today. Hope you have a good day too. I'll see you in the next one.